My name is Mr. Kuensting. I wanted to explain some of the things that BioBook will do for you this year. If you want to buy a biology textbook, by all means, the Miller-Levine textbook is an excellent book to use to learn biology. But if you like to use an online resource before you buy the biology textbook, you might want to try BioBook, which is a free online resource that I designed, tailor-made for NARICS to kind of guide you through biology. This is the main index that you can access biology or BioBook by going to www.biobook.info. It will take you to this website. Um, the website index is full of links. Okay, so to avoid confusion, let's just go through a few of the basic parts of this web index here that we're going to be using for the entire school year. You'll see this index every day in class because every day I will be using BioBook to display images and text and data on the screen. So all the labs that we're going to do, all the documents that we're going to use in this class will come, from this website. So up on the upper left here, the NARICS logo is actually a link if you wanted to go to the NARICS high school website. If you click here, that'll take you to the www.naricshs.org website. Clicking on the BioBook name here actually just reloads the page. And up here at the top, you'll see pictures that come in about every 10 seconds that change. And those pictures are actually, if you click on these images that are in the upper right-hand side of the screen, they'll take you to a photo page where you'll get an explanation of what was happening in that picture. And all of them have something to do with biology. Now, if you're in the junior biology class, not the honors class, the regular junior biology class, most of your resources are inside of this block up here at the top underneath junior biology resources. If you happen to be in the AP biology class, your resources are located in this section of the main index here on the BioBook screen. Down here at the bottom, BioBook, the Organization of Life, this is essentially a college text that has basically an entire college curriculum in it. It's a great resource. It has far more in it than we can cover in any general biology class at any level on the high school, or during high school years. So we use the BioBook Organization of Life section as a resource. Sometimes I'll bop into it during class to show pictures that are there that are not in your specific biology resources. But most of the time we'll be using, if you're in junior bio, the junior bio resources, or AP bio, the AP bio resources. But don't forget, there is a college text down here. And if you place your mouse anywhere over these tabs, you'll notice that a drop-down menu occurs. So if you're in junior bio, when you put your mouse over the general tab, resources, recommendation form, and chat appear. If you put your mouse over the study sheets tab, the entire curriculum or syllabus of the school year is laid out. So the first quarter, we're going to have an introduction time, and that's the first 2 weeks of school. And then we jump into the survey of life and evolutionary biology units. And then in the second quarter, we do these units, cytology, molecular biology, and cellular energetics. And then we have our first semester exam around Christmas. And then in the third quarter, we have these topics on DNA here. And in the fourth quarter, we have stuff with ecology. So the entire year is sort of laid out under your study sheets tab here. The assessment tab's got online homework and online testing resources. And the current tab, if you click there, it'll actually take you to the current study sheet that we're actually on at that time in the school year. The AP biology has the same general breakdown. Under the general tab, you have resources, recommendation, and chat. But these three are different because they're flavored for AP bio. The study sheets are they're still over biology, but they're completely different in terms of organization. First quarter is introduction, natural selection, and patterns of evolution. Second quarter is matter and energy and homeostasis, followed by the exam around Christmas. And then the third quarter is on information and communication of information, and the fourth quarter is on emergence. And we finish with the exam. So the bulletin board tabs that are here on the sides, they take you to the specific bulletin board for the class that you're in. So those are very useful for you to keep up with what your homework assignments are. Let's take a look at these tabs that are at the top of the screen here. The expectations tab, if you click there, you'll come to the screen here. And this is kind of what's expected of you to bring to school every day. You always want to bring your pencil and pen or and notebook to class, and you want to read your notes daily, and you want to read the outlines for each unit. Also, if you want, you can listen to the screen lectures that are up on YouTube that go along with the outlines that are available for each unit. You need to answer your homework questions. You'll find those on your bulletin boards. Your notebook can have anything in it that you've drawn or written. You cannot have any computer generated or pre-printed materials in your notebook. If you tape pictures that you've printed from the computer or text that you printed from your computer, or you staple such things in your notebook, you will not be able to use your notebook on a quiz, and you will end up with there are no makeups for that. So please get that in your head now that your notebooks cannot have any printer produced materials whatsoever. They must be hand drawn and handwritten. All diagrams, all text, no exceptions. If you need help for any thing in biology, I'm always available as a general rule during contact, although I'm also a club moderator, so on club days I probably won't be available. Most of my free periods I make myself available. Most days after school I'm available. And sometimes before school, but I can never promise that because of traffic. I never know exactly when I'm going to get to school. If you're absent, you might want to listen to one of these screen lectures and check the bulletin board to see what your homework is. If we have a snow day, definitely check the bulletin board and listen to the screen lecture that went along with that day, because we'll have an inverted classroom on those days. The lab animals and plants that are in the room are there to enhance biology, so please treat them kindly. They need your help. Both of the birds are rescue animals, and the snakes can always use care. And the birds bite, so be careful. The snakes generally don't bite, but the birds do. Lab safety is kind of an issue all the time. Glass cuts when it breaks. Scalpels are very sharp and cut easily. And we don't want to get our fingers cut or anything. So please be careful with glassware and stainless steel knives and things in the classroom as we use them to dissect or do microscopy so that you don't hurt yourself. The rest of this we'll talk about in class, but please be a student first and foremost, and you'll have a great time, in biology. The next thing, the curriculum outcomes. This is basically from the student handbook. You can take a look at this. NARICS calls all students to enhance knowledge of self, knowledge of the world, and have a call to action. And we'll talk about that throughout the class. This talks about BioBook in general, and I'll come back to this later, but we don't need to take too close a look at that right now. This is how to get a hold of me if you need to contact me. The general principle is that my schedule will be located here, and this is only valid for the 2016-2017 school year at this point. These are our class times that are regular days, and late start days are also on here. And there's a snow schedule listed here. Here's my contact information if you need to get a hold of me, but email is probably the best bet in most cases. Down at the bottom of the page, we have a glossary tab. You can print paper rulers when you need them. We have a graph paper tab to print graph paper. Links that go away from BioBook are here. There's a lot of great stuff out on the web about biology. This gets us to the Gmail server. This is a timer that we're going to use in biology classes. It looks like this. You can actually time lab experiments using this timer screen as a stopwatch or as a countdown timer. Either way, it's kind of a useful tool for timing things in the lab. There's a photos index. The photos index takes you to the main photos index for all the biology stuff that I have. If you want to look at NARICS Hall photos, if I've taken any dance photos, you click on this link at the top right. That'll take you to the general NARICS pictures that I have posted on the web. These are science-specific pictures here. And then lastly, there's a main site index here that kind of lays out what's on BioBook. So let's go over this. Let's take a look at the regular junior biology resources first. This is this section right here. If you're in regular junior bio, if you click on the bulletin board, you'll come to this page. It won't be filled out for you right away. You're going to need to put your username and your password into these two fields up here at the top and click login. You'll get a username and a password on the first day of school. So you want to remember that password. You don't want to forget it, or you won't be able to get into any of your resources. Everything is password protected. You want to refresh this page when you look at it to make sure you're looking at the most recent rendition of it, because it does change frequently. And the general strategies listed here at the top. Read each outline, read your notes, do the homework, and know your notes and homework, and you will do really well in biology. So this lists by date what we're going to do for class and for homework, for class and for homework, for class and for homework. And so first day of class is on 8/15 this year. And so here's what we're going to do in class. We're setting up our BioBook accounts. We're going over expectations and curricular outcomes. I'm handing out the syllabus permission forms, and we're going to talk about the syllabus. And then you want to study your outline. You still want to study your syllabus and outline it, put it in your notebook. You cannot tape your syllabus into your notebook, but you want to outline it and put it in your notebook so you can take a quiz on it, because you will get a quiz on your outline. And you want to read your introduction outline that's available, and I'll show you where that is in just a minute. The next day, you're going to get a quiz over the syllabus. You will have your notebook as a resource if you've taken notes in it. So it is a very good idea to have good notes. Write everything in your notebook, homework and class, and your notebook will be a great resource for you throughout the school year. If you click on the current tab, that'll bring you to this page. Now, let's see if I can't resize this page to make it fit on our screen. Let's see. Here we go. So this is the first study sheet. This is the first of our study sheets in General Bio. The title is The Science of Biology. It's the introduction study sheet. Links that are important to the study of this unit are at the top. Here's the link to the outline. Here's our lab for estimations and conversion. Here's our microscopy lab resources. Here's some sample conversion problems. And then there's a field diameter analysis sheet that we'll use. You're going to enter data that you collected in lab there. And then there's a makeup sheet in case you missed the test. This is how your test will be broken down for this chapter. So you'll notice on this study sheet, this gives you an introduction. Here's what we're going to do in this unit. Then it's going to talk about the specific goals of the students. By completing this unit, students will be able to A, explain the nature of science, including the scientific method, blah, 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 blah. So in each study sheet, I will lay out for you what I expect you to know by the end of the unit. I will give you the basic terms that you have to know to master the unit. I will give you specific homework objectives that you must finish for the unit. These are the questions here. Your homework objectives are generally the questions you'll be answering for homework in your notebooks, in your handwriting, so that you can use your notebook during the quiz that will take place in the next class. On your study sheet, if you scroll down, you'll have links. There's some flip cards. Flip cards are designed to help you study for the test. These are actually formatted best for your smartphones. They work on iPhone and Android. So if you come to these, if you just swipe on the screen, you can flip from slide to slide. And if you use the arrow keys on the Mac, you can actually flip the cards back and forth, or you can click the show key here, and that'll do it too. I would recommend playing with these. These flip cards are tailor-made to prepare you for the test that you're going to face in biology. Note cards have basically a complete sample of test questions that you would receive on a test. The flip cards are questions that don't include the terms. You also have flashcards up here that are just for learning terms. These are all the flashcards just for going through all the terms that you're going to be responsible for in this unit. So I'll talk some about this in class, but the study sheet here has links to all of these flip cards and flashcards to help you succeed on your test. At the bottom of every study sheet, there's an analysis section that has you go through some lab data and answer questions about it, calculate slopes, draw relationships on graphs, and these are kind of science skills things that you're going to need to know how to do. Many of you will be taking the ACT test this year, and on this section of each unit is trying to help you get ready for ACT style questions. So that is the regular junior biology study sheet pattern. I should also mention, if you click on the current tab, it'll take you to the study sheet the way I talked about before. If you click on outline, this is essentially the text. It's an outline of text that you would have in a general textbook that introduces you to biology. It's illustrated. All sources are cited. I did not take all these pictures. Many of them came from WikiCommons. If you click on them, they will take you to the WikiCommons page where the picture was originally sourced. So the outline is something you want to read to help prepare you for the test that's coming up. So you definitely want to look at these. You cannot print the outline and paste it in your notebook, but you're welcome to take notes from it. I will use these outlines every day in class to demonstrate what we're going to do in that particular unit. So the outlines are pretty important. Your online homework, BioSign, is under the Assessment tab. If you click on Assessment BioSign, it'll bring you to this page. The unit we're going to be on right off the bat is Introduction. And here you'll find the online homework system. It'll ask you questions. You buy a new watch that can withstand a water pressure of 100 pounds per square inch. How many kilograms per square meter can the watch sustain? And you have to calculate the answer. Some of the questions are simply a term. Or identify a growth of cells on a nutrient medium. And so if you type cell culture, and then go to the bottom of the page and click submit, it'll actually record for you an attempted score. I tried one question, I got it right. I'm 1 out of 1, but right now I'm 0 out of 10 for my BioSign score because there's actually 78 questions on this, or 33 questions, but some of them are matching with multiple sub-questions. Total of 78 points here. It won't be worth 78 points because you can submit this as many times as you want. If I only allowed one submission of this page, I'd give you 78 points for this, but that's not the way this works. You can try this over and over. You can get things wrong. I could type for number 30 here a bunch of gibberish. You'll notice I now have a 1 out of 2 attempted score because it marked that one incorrect. I can actually click a button at the bottom of the page to check for where is that incorrect answer, and it's number 18. And it's right here. Oh, no, number 18. That was 17. It says, estimate the number of branches on the tree. Use the same law of averages rules that were used in our lab. It marked it incorrect. The average size branch is the typical branch that's on the tree. And so if we count this as an average size branch, we have 1, 2, 3. The 2 small branches count as 1. That makes 4. This branch count is 5. And this really long one counts as 2 branches. So that would bring us up to 7. So I'm thinking we have 7, double checking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I click submit answers, it'll now say I have 2 out of 2. It's counting that one as correct. I still have no score out of 10 though, because it's rounding down. That's the way BioSign works. There are matching questions here where you have to pop up. Ancient life, that would be paleontology. If I click submit, now it's telling me I got 3 out of 3. There's no harm in getting answers wrong. It's just that you need to eventually get them right to get credit for them. So you will not get 78 points for doing this. You'll get probably for this one either 10, 15, or 20 points. I'm not sure how I'm going to point it yet. But that's your online homework, and I will be encouraging you to do this every night. Do a few BioSign questions so that you don't do everything the night before. A couple of last things. Your resources page has the link to this particular screen lecture. In addition, you've got buttons here or links for uploading files to BioBook. You'll use these. If you use your iPhone and you take a microscopy picture using the microscope, you can upload it as a photo. When I activate the page, you'll need to put in your user ID, your password, put in the key for the page, which I'll tell you in class. Subject, which is the name of what you took the picture of, what section you're in. Choose the file on your computer and then click upload and it'll upload the file. If it doesn't upload it, that means you've selected a file that can't be uploaded. But at any rate, it is these links are tools to upload photos, videos, and files to BioBook for homework assignments or for bonus. The rest of this page goes over science skills. Graphing relationships, slope, how to calculate slope, and statistical analysis. And we'll come back to the resources page throughout the school year. Don't need to cover it all right now, but you'll know where to find it. It's under the general tab. Recommendation form, probably won't need that this year, but if you're going to apply for a job and you need a science teacher to do a recommendation, I could be your person for that. When you click on that, you'll come to this page. You'll have to put your name and your email there and then answer these questions and click submit. You'll have to ask me what the form for the password is. I'll give it to you. And you'll submit that, and then I will then write the letter of rec for you. If you don't write one of these out, if you don't fill one of these out and submit it, I won't write the letter of rec because they're hard to write. And so you have to tell me something about yourself in that form. I believe we've talked about most of the things here. You also, I should have mentioned, in the resources page, you will have a link to your gradebook. If you click on grades here, this page is not active. But when I activate the gradebook, which will be almost right away in the school year, all your biology grades will be here. I will not be putting grades on PowerSchool regularly. Only PowerSchool will only be for summary grades. So during the middle of the first quarter, I will put grades into PowerSchool coming from here. At the end of the first quarter, I'll put them in. In the middle of the second quarter, I'll put them in. At the end of the second quarter, I'll put them in. If you want to see what your running biology grade is, it will be on this page, this grades page here. And so the PowerSchool is great for summary grades, but I don't want to use it for all of my individual running scores. At any rate, the last things here, there is a glossary, and sometimes you're going to have to write out your terms for class. So let me just show you a quick shortcut here. These are the terms that you're responsible for in the first unit. I'm going to copy them. And then I'm going to go back to the glossary, which is the link at the bottom of the page here on the main BioBook index. And I'm going to paste those terms into this field here. And then I'm going to click Search Words Exact. And when I do that, it's going to list all the terms out. Now you'll notice they have no numbers in front of them. Make sure you number the terms first before you actually use this page. So if I go back to the current tab, you should write all these terms in your notebook, number them from 1 to 14. Then go to your glossary page, paste them in, search the words, and write these definitions into your notebook. I will quiz you on whether or not you have these definitions in your notebook at some point during class. So make sure they're numbered, though, because I will not say define manipulated variable. I'll just say, hey, white quiz, because I usually give 2 different color quizzes. I'll say white quiz, do numbers 2, 5, 9, 7, and 4. And if you haven't written down which terms are which numbers, you're going to get them wrong. And there are no makeups on this. I'm sorry, but if you don't follow the rules, you're going to get a rules penalty. And that penalty could be severe if you keep doing this over and over. So please number the terms the way you see them numbered in the original study sheet. Also, number your objectives the way you see them for the honors bio. Here's the objectives for the first unit. Make sure you number them exactly the way you see them numbered here, because I'll just say white quiz, do numbers 3 and 4, color quiz, do numbers 1 and 2. If you haven't numbered your homework, if you haven't organized your homework, you're not going to be able to use it on the quiz. So make sure you organize your homework. So that's the glossary. If you want rulers, you want to print some rulers, this goes outside of BioBook, but there's some great rulers that you can print on our school printers. There's also graph paper that you can print. There's grayed out and hardline graph paper, and I would print it 2-sided. One side will print faded, the other side will print dark. Then there's the outside links we talked about, the timer we talked about, the photos we talked about, and the site index we talked about. The last thing, if you need to do a last-ditch effort to search for something in BioBook, if you just type in the word biology here, and then click, or maybe I'll just put in black snake, and then click search, you'll get a complete listing of all places black snake appears on BioBook. So if you click, well, there's the first one, black rat snake. Well, there's a section where it talks about the black rat snake. We have one of these in the lab. He's in the computer, or she's in the computer in the back. So you can do a search of the BioBook website doing that. And I would also recommend to get into the habit of doing searches on your page. If you're looking for a particular term here, like controlled experiment, do a Command F and then type controlled experiment. If you're using Chrome, the search box is at the bottom of the page. If you're using Safari, it's at the top. And you can find all versions of controlled experiment on the page. I highly recommend using Command F or Find on a web page to find information on the page. You can use this Find function here to find things on BioBook in general. But the problem with that is it's going to find things on the college text. It'll find things in the honors section, which you don't really have much access to if you're in general bio. And it'll also find things in general bio. If you're in general bio, you can't read the stuff that's in the honors bio. If you're honors bio, you can't read the stuff in general bio most of the time. Sometimes I allow cross-reading. So ladies, in general, if you're in junior bio, if you click on the bulletin board, you will not be able to access the honors bio, and that's to keep you from doing the wrong homework. If you're in honors bio, you won't be able to access the regular junior bio. And in general, the reason for the password protection is so that our curriculum is private. I don't mind anyone using the BioBook college text. That's great. But the specific things that we're doing in our Narings biology curriculum, whether it be junior bio or AP bio, is, I think, something that's kind of private to Narings. And I do allow teachers from other schools to use it and students from other schools, but they have to email me if they want access, and then I give them a username and a password so they can get in. Anyway, ask questions during class if you have any. I hope this was at least somewhat helpful to explain some of the aspects of BioBook. I did not cover everything, but I covered a lot. Have a good evening. I will see you next time.